Ideas are the starting point of all fortunes. Ideas are born from the imagination, and imagination is the workshop of the mind where plans are shaped into reality. In Chapter 6 of Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill shows us how powerful imagination can be when used practically to build real wealth. Let's look at a true story that captures the very essence of how imagination, mixed with action, creates fortunes. Many years ago, an old country doctor quietly made his way into a small town's drugstore. He hitched his horse, entered the store through the back door, and began a private conversation with a young drug clerk behind the counter. The old doctor wasn't there just to make a sale. He was there to pass along something that would eventually yield incredible wealth, not just for one man, but for countless people around the world. The doctor carried with him an old-fashioned brass kettle and a big wooden paddle, the kind used for stirring. More importantly, he carried a small slip of paper with a secret formula written on it. For over an hour they spoke in low tones, discussing the contents of the kettle and the formula. Finally, the young clerk reached into his pocket, pulled out a roll of bills, his entire life savings, exactly $500, and handed it over to the doctor. In return, he received the kettle, the paddle, and that small slip of paper. Now, on the surface, this transaction seemed foolish. $500 at that time was a huge sum of money. The clerk risked everything he had for an old kettle and a recipe. Yet what he truly bought wasn't just the kettle or the piece of paper. What he bought was an idea. What the doctor didn't realize was that the young man brought something to the deal that the doctor lacked: imagination. That secret ingredient would transform an ordinary kettle and an ordinary formula into an empire. That young drug clerk was Asa Candler. The formula he purchased was the original recipe for Coca-Cola. And the imagination he added? It was the vision to see that this product could be more than just a simple drink. It could become a worldwide phenomenon. With imagination, Candler built a system for distributing Coca-Cola across the country and eventually across the globe. He designed bottling systems, hired artists to create beautiful advertising, inspired armies of salespeople, and captured the public's imagination. That old kettle became one of the greatest producers of wealth the world has ever seen. Think about it. That kettle helped create permanent jobs for thousands of people involved in growing sugarcane, refining sugar, manufacturing glass bottles, printing advertisements, and distributing the drink. It fueled industries, built fortunes, and even helped found and maintain a prominent college in the South. Even during the Great Depression, when businesses and banks across America were closing their doors, the empire built by the enchanted kettle kept marching forward, providing steady jobs and reliable income for thousands. Every bottle of Coca-Cola sold around the world today is a reminder that it all started with a single idea, backed by imagination and driven by action. This is not a fairy tale. It's not a legend. It's a real story about the practical power of imagination when it is put into action. Asa Candler didn't invent the drink. He didn't create the original formula. What he did was use his imagination to see the potential and turn that idea into a massive success. The same principle applies to every one of us. Any idea, no matter how simple it seems, can become the foundation for immense wealth if it is backed by imagination, faith, desire, and persistence. Hill reminds us that thoughts are things. Every invention, every fortune, every breakthrough begins as a simple idea. But imagination is what transforms those thoughts into tangible realities. Without action, ideas remain dreams. But with imagination and effort, they become empires. Wherever you are, whatever you do, remember this story the next time you see the name Coca-Cola. Remember that your own ideas, no matter how small they seem today, have the potential to become something that touches the world. The real magic is not in the formula. The real magic is in the imagination and the faith that brought the formula to life. The 13 steps to riches outlined in Think and Grow Rich are the tools that Asa Candler unknowingly applied. They are the tools that anyone can use to turn a simple idea into a legacy. Never underestimate the power of a single thought, and never underestimate your own imagination. because truly, thoughts are things, and their scope of operation is as wide as the world itself.